Well, welcome to today's episode of Wesley Live. I am very excited to have back Dr. Patrick Eby with us today. Dr. Eby, how are you doing? Quarantine?
I'm doing well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's good to see you. And I thought we would have a chat today. I know, well, I just found out recently that you had been promoted. You're still a professor here at the seminary, but you've also been promoted to the D-Min Program Director. Is that fact? Okay, great. Well, I just thought I would have you on to maybe have you share a little bit about your new responsibilities there with the Doctor of Ministry program. And so could you kind of share some of those details, what your new role will involve, and any other aspects that you'd like to share?
Well, I've been doing this since middle of last fall, Jay. Sorry about that, Joel. I've been talking to Dr. Y or Jay Wise over at the library. So I've been doing this since last fall. And basically, I'm the person who oversees the whole program as far as helping to guide students through the program, overseeing the accreditation, the policies. So the administrative part of the program is what I'm overseeing. And then I'm working directly with teaching in the research and in the proclamation, transformational preaching specialization. So a lot of it's just busy paperwork, trying to get all the details down, which, not a lot of fun, but it is exciting to serve students and help them learn these new things. I mean, I get to read their papers and see how they're growing, and that's really exciting.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, congratulations on that new role. And for those that maybe are at home and don't know about our Doctor of Ministry program, could you maybe explain how it works, the different tracks, and just the nuts and bolts of it?
Yeah, there are 3 specializations that we have right now, Joel. Okay. We have a specialization in transformational preaching, which is starting this fall.
Okay.
And that will run for basically 3 years that you'll be in classes. 1 class in the fall, 1 class in the spring for 3 years. And then in the middle of that, you'll take a research course that will help you prepare to write your D-Min research project. So over the first 3 years, you're taking 3 classes a year. They're usually 2-week intensives or 1-week intensives for the classroom preaching. And the research is an 8-week class where we start to introduce you to the principles of research. After that, you write your research project in about a year and a half. And so in 4.5 years, 5 years, depending on how much you can stay with the research right after you get through with classes, you'll have a Doctor of Ministry in transformational preaching. We also have transformational leadership and spiritual formation.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, you mentioned that we have the 3 specializations right now. Now, I've also been aware that we are also introducing the individualized course of study for our Doctor of Ministry program. Could you talk to us a little bit about how that works?
So let's say that you want to get a broader way of thinking about things. So you don't want to just think about spiritual formation or leadership or preaching, but you could actually look at the classes and say, I think that my project will use some things from leadership. It'll use something from spiritual formation. It'll use some things from preaching. And you can put together a course of study that you have to still take 1 course in the fall, 1 in the spring. So there's 3 courses that are offered during each of those times right now. But when you come in, you say, these are the 6 courses I want to take. And so you can individualize your course of study and not have a specialization in preaching, leadership, or spiritual formation.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So when will that start? When will that be an option?
That starts all the time. There are people already in that,
wow.
Joel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great to know. Great to know. So, Dr. Eby, if there's someone watching right now that's considering getting their D-Min with Wesley Seminary, what advice would you give them as they're thinking through that decision?
Well, I think a lot of times I'll sit down with students. I ask, what is it that you're looking for? Why do you want to get a doctorate, whether it's a PhD or a DMin? So my first question is always, what do you want this for? And if you want to become a better practitioner, a better minister in the setting that you're in, then the DMin is the program for you. If you've already have an MDiv and you've served in the church and you just want to get deep in an area, whether that be spiritual formation or preaching or leadership, you just want to learn more and more about that, this program is for you. And it also will teach you how to write. Like, we assume when you come in, you know a little bit about writing, but by the time you leave, you will have written the equivalent of a short book.
Wow.
And you're starting to be able to think about how to put together an argument in ways that you can publish that to the general public. So I'm excited about like the skills you get for ministry, but also the ability to strengthen your writing skills. So you could write for denominational publications, you could write for magazines, journals, you could even write a book when you get out of this. So we're trying to help you think not only about the practice that you're interested in, but how to do serious research that makes a difference for the church.
Wow, that's cool. Now I know, kind of in closing here, I know I've heard you talk about the travel component to the DMin, and so you're involved with the Transformational Preaching with Dr. Lucetti. Did you guys go to England? Was that is that part of the Transformational Preaching?
So we'll be going to England again in 2022. So it's during the second year of the program, we go to England to study historical preaching. So by looking at the history of preaching, to think about how we could learn from that past and have it transform our preaching. So I so enjoyed that the first time we went with, I think it was 18 students. And probably one of the highlights is we picked 18 key places to visit. And we assigned one to each student.
Oh, cool.
And so they had to give a 5-minute devotional on the place that we were at.
Wow.
And so they did those devotionals, and then Lenny or I would speak in, Dr. Lucetti or I would speak into that at the end of that. We came home and one of the students published every one of those presentations, and I have a copy of that book in my office.
Oh, wow.
Just to always remember that time that we were there in England. So it was great. It'll probably be about a 10-day trip. And we'll visit London and Bristol, Oxford, and just go to some of those early places where the Wesley started to spread the message and learn about what is it that made them the people that transformed a nation. How is it that their preaching was able to transform and reform England in a time when it was in a pretty bad position with a lot of growth that led to poverty, and John Wesley addressed a lot of that.
Wow. Well, that's very exciting. So if someone were interested in wanting to get started, who should they contact? What should they do? What course of action should they take?
They could talk to me if they wanted to, but I think the admissions team could probably help them the most.
Okay.
Like with the details. If they're interested in proclamation or preaching, transformational preaching, they could contact Lenny Lucetti, Dr. Lucetti, or myself, and talk to us. If they're interested, the next one that'll launch after that the following year is spiritual formation. So they could talk to John Drury, myself, Colleen Durr. I can oversee any one of the conversations and point them in the right direction.
Okay.
And then the final one is leadership, which they could talk to Aaron Perry or Luigi Pignaranda.
Okay.
So any one of those people, they're the specialist in the area. I'm just here supporting them, helping them, get the students where they can learn stuff. I mean, it's exciting to be a part of this.
That is very exciting. Very exciting. Well, Dr. Eby, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I know I've had some people ask me about the DMin, and I thought what better way than to get you on the program. So thank you so much for your time and all that you do for Wesley and for our DMin program. And hope you stay safe and healthy, and many blessings.
Thanks, Joel.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.